day 2 at the MXP Houston 20K Modern event. Both players, you can see at the top of your screen, 6 wins, 1 draw. So both undefeated going into day 2, exactly where you want to be. William Greenwood going to be on the play here. Looks like we're starting off with a Surveil. And arguably, this is probably the best Surveil deck that we have in the format.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good when your Entomb comes with a free land drop.
No turn 1 play here for Taylor, though. So what could that mean? Does that mean that like his hand's just full of bomb 2 drops? Like 2's really the sweet spot of these decks and the powerful cards.
Yeah, you don't always like to have a turn 1 play. Sometimes you just want to surveil on turn 1 and then have a turn 2 Ajani. I imagine it might just be like a hand with a ring in it, and maybe he doesn't know the matchup, and he's just like, okay, I got some lands, a ring, a couple of 2-drops. This is probably just fine in the dark. But you really want to have that 1-drop in this matchup and start pressuring the Goryo's Vengeance player, because the more time you give him, the more time for Atraxa.
All right, I've got the hard-hitting questions, and I'm throwing it right at you right now, Mr. Dingo. Do you like Christmas sleeves, or do you like raccoon trash sleeves?
I love the raccoon sleeves. I'm a sucker for them.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. I like them a lot. But I love the festiveness of having some. Is that a goblin or a dragon or something with a gingerbread? I'm not entirely sure, but I know that is a goblin bombardment hitting the battlefield straight away. Which I also like doing this in the face of high removal decks. At the minute, this could be fatal pushes etc. floating around. I like hitting a bombardment on the battlefield, so it just turns off all the removal as well as making my Phlage do lightning helix, not like Boris Charms effects instead of lightning helix effects.
Yeah, kind of like a little mini War Leaders Helix, right? That's a hot one. Will you remember
That's a
that one?
throwback. Yeah, I do. I remember that. Did that just get reprinted in the new set? There's so many cards in that new set that I still don't actually got my head around how many there are. Right, let's have
I
a
don't
little look.
believe a War Leaders Helix came back, but I'm not sure. I know Lightning Helix and Boros Charm did though. Shout out to Foundations.
It's one of those ones that I really should have a deeper look into, because I'm sure there's some like little sleeper cards in there that someone's going to play against me once, and I'm like, I didn't even know that got reprinted. Like, what is that doing there? It's going to actually destroy me.
Oh yeah, no, I saw Fumigate and Desecration Demon for the first time in Standard, and I was like, these came back? I love these cards for
Desecration
the
Demon,
elites.
is that the 6/6 that you have to sacrifice a creature?
Oh
Oh
yeah, it
my!
is, Will.
Oh man, that format was so good when that was in standard last. When it was Mono Black Devotion and Pack Rat. God, I
Yeah,
lost
it
the
got
Pack Rat so much.
printed in Foundation's starter kit, and nobody remembered that it had come back. Somebody was like, "Oh, you can play Desecration Demon." I was like, "This card's not legal." I put it in my deck. I was like, "It is legal."
Oh my goodness, it works. It's a thing. I've hacked the system. All right, next hard hitting question. What's your basic plane of choice?
I
Two different ones right now.
use fourth edition foreign black border basics.
All right, someone tell me that you've won a secret lair without telling me you've won a secret lair, right? Okay, someone's throwing around the money,
They're,
and I get it. It's fine.
oh,
Here
oh
comes the
no, no,
fairy.
no, no, no. They're $4. They're
Fairy,
nothing crazy.
take down, bounce the Gumbo bombardment back, add another card to a hand. So we're really taking the controlling route here. Is this the sort of strategy you want if you're over on Will's side? He's kind of just dealing with the battlefield, controlling it nicely, and there's no threats yet.
Yeah, taking the Goblin Bombardment off is kind of like a mini time walk here. It seems like the hand for Taylor is this Phlage, a bunch of removal in the One Ring. So not the greatest hand against Goryo's, and the more time you give Goryo's, the worse it's going to be for you. The Ring can be okay in the matchup, but it's not the fastest thing to be doing. You really want to get a board presence down, but missed land drop from William and a pass back is not a good sign.
Well, everyone will like my experience of playing these Goyos decks is basically they need 2 mana. That's it. Anything other than that's extra on top of it. But we're not being able to sell. We're not being able to put anything in our graveyard. We've not drawn any more cards. We've not been able to really do much. But over on the other side, Taylor's not added much pressure. One Phlage in the graveyard, that's fine. Will's going to hit with big chunks. He's going to hit with big Gristlebrands, Attractors. He's not going to nickel and dime to try and get the W here. He's going to either try and finish it over 1 or 2 turns, just pull so far ahead that Taylor cannot deal with it. Here comes that Goblin Bombardment again, though, and the 1-2 Sprint and Twin Punch that you said that we're going to get on T-shirts after this. Is this going to be? Are you sacrificing straight away, or are you going to wait and play it safe?
In the face of open mana, I think I just wait here, especially since, Solitude's in the opposing deck most likely. So I think I would just play the Ajani, pass back, and we see Taylor do the same. No Tainted Indulgence on the end step for Will either, which is pretty bad. I think the sweet spot for this Goryo's list is hitting 4 mana so that way you can use the Emperor of Bones and activate it in the same turn. We just see a move to discard and a Troxa hitting the bin. You wonder if this is an end step Goryo's from Will.
I hope this is key, right? I hope there's a. I've got cards to play, but my game plan, because I've got no way of getting anything in the graveyard, is just to go up to 8 cards naturally in my draw step. And as you said here, end of turn, Goy's Vengeance. This is going to be one of the new fancy ones that's been printed, so it is going to be Goy's Vengeance. Targeting this Atraxa, it's going to resolve. Now comes the
This is
ETB. Look at the top
actually
10.
this is actually in response to the One Ring. We're trying to hit Force and Negation. There it is,
Found it.
Force and Negation. Oh,
Oh, here
Will
we go. Right,
save
that's a
me all these
Goyo's.
poster arts.
I know that the bottom one's are Goyo's. The top one, though. Hold on a minute. What is that top one?
Okay, we're taking blue card plus Force and Negation. I can recognize that so far. Maybe we... Okay, that looks like that's all we're taking. We don't have to worry about it until the next time it shows up.
It's going to really drive me mental that I don't know what that other card was now. I'm looking at the deck list as well, and I'm like, what could it be? What's even got poster arts at the minute?
That's a question for the Commander players.
Nah, chat will tell us. Chat knows everything. Right, well, Trax is on the battlefield, and of course, oh, and I was going to say, it will be going at the end of turn unless we've got some way of flickering it. Here comes the Ephemerate. Ephemerate means that we get another Atraxa trigger. Get to look at the top 10, put one of each card type into a graveyard. There's, oh, I don't like matching Goryos, but what I do love is this camera angle. A new, let's go. Well done, my friend. That, look, if you've got an Amazon Prime and you haven't used it on this channel, you're wasting it anywhere else. Look at the production value, ladies and gentlemen. You don't even get this on the Pro Tour. But no, you get it here on anzidmtg. Look at it, beautiful. Right, what are we taking? We're taking Solitude, Leyline's Binding, Amending, a land. We can keep it, the rest back at the bottom of our deck, however we like. That's
All
4
these
cards
camera angles,
oh,
and
I
I
love it.
still can't tell what the poster cards are.
It's right. Leave the alternate arts to me. You just keep looking good, being pretty, and use that personality of yours, all right?
That I can do. Untaps with a Troxa. Rebound on Ephemerate, decides nah, I'd rather attack with it. Attacks 4/7, lifelink, vigilance, death touch. But 14-point life swing.
Well, that's it. We're on a 3-turn clock now. What has Taylor even got in the deck to get this off the battlefield?
Well, the card that's exiled right there, the One Ring, some One Ring loops, plus the Static Prisoner too, and we could see Taylor get right back into this game. That Leyline Binding is going to be a little bit of a problem to deal with because we can snipe the Static Prison or the Ring with it, but it is a little bit of an expensive Leyline Binding. There's no full domain over here for Will. I think he could only get up to 4 types anyways because he already binned the Ketria Triome, so if he has like a Hedge Maze, that's about as good as he can do.
How many cards must we have in the grip at this point? We've got to have close to like 10, 11 cards.
Oh, we're going to discard.
We're going to shock in this Godless Shrine down to 20 because we did just gain 7, of course, from a Traxer. Getting that big hit in there. 3 mana. Here's that Leyline's Binding that you were speaking about. We're going to target the Goblin Bombardment.
Yeah, this is going to force the sacrifice of the cat to flip the Ajani, and then Solitude's going to tag that Ajani in response if that's the angle that Taylor wants to go. Yes, the sacrifice trigger in response. Solitude pitch this Faithful Mending, or can't pitch that one. That's a blue card. We're going to pitch that Touch the Spirit Realm.
Just a 1 of in the deck. Kind of like, you know, playing role as the 5th Ephemerate. Alright, now how many cards left in hand? I think it's 3 plus 4 in hand.
I think it's exactly 7.
Must be nice. Opponent's got nothing on the battlefield. You've got an Atraxa and a full grip of cards. And that, of course, that 1 white mana up, which could be representing anything.
If it's another Ephemerate, I'm not sure how Taylor gets out of this.
I'm not sure how Taylor gets out of it anyway. Like, I
Yeah,
think this is the damage done. You've got to win before this sort of sequence happens. And William did a great job of dealing with the battlefield nice and early, keeping Taylor on the back foot, not being able to set up, and then just like that, bam, shot, managed to get the tracks on the battlefield, and then, as we know, things just snowball from here. Amp Raptor, though, is going to do its best job at cascading into another Amp Raptor. So energy's going to stay the same. You're just going to get yourself another 2/1 first striker, which does not line up well. Oh, we're not going to cast it.
Not gonna cast it, which is interesting because it's completely free to cast
Yeah.
because you're gonna ETB and it's gonna make 2 energy anyways. So his brother always comes for free. Just to
Is there
pass
any
back
logic
though.
there? Is there any reason why we wouldn't do that?
I imagine just wanted to save energy for the discharge in hand potentially, but yeah, you do. It is free to cast the Amp Raptor, so I don't think there's any reason not to.
All right, interesting. Maybe it will come apparent momentarily for us and everyone at home. Down to 7 goes Taylor as the Traxxas gets in for another big hit, another 7 points gained. Full grip of cards here for Williams, just like, do your worst. See, how are you going to get out of this one? I see another Traxxas in hand, Solitude, a Sync into the Super, which I'm pretty sure turns off every single thing that Taylor could actually have at this point. But he's going to
Yeah, we're
try.
probably just looking to discharge this Atroxa after making 1 more energy. Yeah, we see the attack here. It
Oh,
says go ahead and block because I have that discharge in hand and I want to use it.
nah, I'll take the 2. I'm at 25. It's all good. I'll take the hit on that one. 3
Here
mana,
comes a Phlage.
Phlage. If this does resolve, it will get us, another turn. But Sync is going to be cast, meaning it's not going to touch the battlefield, which means it will have no life gain, which might just be the nail in the coffin here for Taylor. And yep, he's going to be scooping it up. Did see in hand he had that Fraven Charm, but of course the big turn that William went off, that Fraven Charm, we were tapped out for it and got pretty punished for it. Anyway, on that one, Will is up a game. So let's start over on Taylor's side. You are a Boros connoisseur. You've played many matchups with this deck. So with this deck and this sideboard, what do you like bringing in?
I definitely like Blood Moon in the matchup. I think Blood Moon does a lot of work against the greedy Leyline Binding mana base that Will has. I would also bring in the additional copy of Thraben Charm for some extra graveyard hate. You can consider Orange Chant because you can chant in response to the Goryos, prevent it from attacking, and also prevent it from being ephemerated. So I think I would like the 2 Orange Chants, the 1 Thraben Charm, and the 2 copies of Blood Moon.
What do you like taking out?
Discharge. Discharge doesn't
okay.
really do much, especially against just the singleton copy of Emperor of Bones. If there were more copies of Emperor of Bones, I would consider leaving in some discharges, but you could take out some number of Phlages and some number of discharge.
Alright, well, let's have a flick across to the Goyo's deck. 1 game up, of course, just needs to win 1 more to be able to advance to a 7-0-1 record. That's the main. This is the sideboard. What do you like?
Ooh, is that a Trigon Predator? Will, do you remember what that one does?
I don't, but I'm clicking on it now to have a little look. Deals comic damage to a player. You may destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. 2 free flying for 3 mana.
Peter. And also, look at that card all the way to the right, Will. That's another spicy one that I haven't seen since Gate Crash Block Constructed.
Mind Drinker. Okay, flying for 2/4. Whenever it deals comic damage to a player, that player reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal 4 land cards and put those cards into. Okay, this isn't the matchup for it, but I love the spice. I love
kills
that.
Belcher on
Yeah,
the spot.
that's a Belcher killer right there. Love it. Okay.
What
do you like bringing in though?
Ooh, maybe the Subtlety, Wrath of the Skies for sure. And I think I would probably bring in the Predator as well. You don't have basic Forest, so it's going to be hard to cast it post Blood Moon, but if you can get it down before Blood Moon, you can actually smack them and pop the Blood Moon. So I think it's just those 3. And you can board out Reprieve, probably. Anyways, we'll see how we boarded.
Yeah, there's like a few one-ofs in here. You can shave down on some cards. You can, you can take your forwards to freeze or just take some of your one-ofs out. These decks are one of the advantages is, of course, just being able to change their sideboard ever so slightly while keeping their main game plan intact. But let's get back down to the match of game number 2 and see if William can take this one down, or are we going to see Boros Energy fight back and take us to a game 3 as players draw the opening 7? Of course, because these beautiful player cams, we get to have a little look at what they're getting as well. I see a bunch of lands, a Phlage, a Ragavan, and I think a Fraven's Charm, maybe some sort of white card there for Taylor. Didn't get a great look at William's hand, but he's on the draw, so we've seen that momentarily. Looks like we've got keeps for both.
Yeah, I think anytime you can have a turn 1 Ragavan against the Goryo's deck, you're going to keep it, especially with that Thraben Charm backup with some graveyard hate. Love this hand a lot.
Basic Plains Pride starting off, okay.
I think I would definitely start off on Ragavan here. The only thing you're risking is a prismatic ending, and it's just so much more pressure and ramp if you can get that Ragavan down sooner.
Oh yeah,
But maybe he's
as you said, you
looking
can
to
threaten like a
dash.
turn 2 Blood Moon, really, can you?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And turn 2 Blood Moon is just lights out.
Here we go, fetch up. Maybe we'll see a dash Dragavan. Do you see Blood Moon in the main there? So we can kind of flick through it a little bit. Go for another basic. Keep our life total nice and high. I guess you want to keep it within sevens, right? So 7, 14, 21. That's kind of the big hit numbers that come from these Goryo's Vengeance decks.
Yeah, probably to
We will
gain
get.
some life off this Ocelot Pride. I don't. A lot of people love dashing Ragavan on turn 2, but I'm always just a Ragavan caster.
Yeah, same.
I
I like.
very rarely dash it.
If I had both of these in my hand, like 100%, I would have started with the Ragavan. But that's just my preference. You know, there's advantages to both. Here comes a treasure token. Here comes a cat token end of turn as well. As long as we remember that that life was added. Use the treasure token to make the Ocelot's Pride. This is going to make us 2 more cats. We're still not in the City's Blessing just yet. That Ragavan will be going back to hand end of turn.
So, nightmare scenario here. Will goes and gets a Surveil land, surveils Atraxa, untaps and casts Goryos because there's no Thraben Charm up now. That's nightmare scenario. We'll see if that happens.
Do you know why I'm not sure why these Goyos decks don't play Massacre Worm? I feel like that card would be great to like have some way of getting it back out of the graveyard against these small loads of the Grand Boros decks.
So
You can almost
Massacre
win on
Worm
the shot.
is not legendary. That's
Yeah,
the reason
you
they
need
don't.
the persist version.
Right.
Fetching again. Oh, I thought we fetched straight away. Nope, it was just Surveil, put it in the graveyard. Don't like that.
It's Elish Norn is the card that you're thinking of, right?
Oh, that would be good as well. Oh, man,
Yeah.
I just need to see more play. Gone are those days. That was back when like Tarmogoyf was good.
Good old
Right.
7 mana Elish Norn.
Just a little 7 mana. Kind of easy to cast. Easy to cast. But what can we do here on Taylor's side? That is an arena of glory. Are we going to? We are going to get the double red. So 1 mana could be spent on this Ragavan to hardcast. It would give it the haste effect that it would gain from dash anyway. Then the 1 red plus the 1 white for this Amp Raptor. So both of these get to attack this turn as well. Flipping the 1 ring. Don't have enough energy to pay for that, but we do get to go to combat and swing in for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of damage. And if this all connects and we get to go to our end step, there is going to be a lot of tokens made.
People want this card banned, Will. A 2 mana 2/1, make 2 energy. Exile the top card of your library. I don't know.
Like, it did nothing. It just
It
hit a
did
1 ring
nothing.
exile. I don't know what they're talking about. It's not even scary right now.
F tier
Right.
card.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So City's Blessing. So we make 1 more. No, we make 3 treasure tokens and 3 cats. Is that right?
It's 4 cats.
4 cats.
So for the first one,
Unless we hit City's Blessing off the second cat trigger, then it's 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
2,
10. No. Yeah, you're right. It'd be 4. So it'd be 4 treasures, 4 cats.
or 4 more cats.
Yes.
Crazy. Did you see when we were at a tournament recently, my huge blowout when I was able to turn 3, make 28 tokens, and then my opponent untapped and just fire spouted me, and I just cried. I was like, oh, I'm glad this is on camera.
Alright,
End
I
of
think
turn.
we scuffed the cat math a little bit, but that's okay.
Why would we scuff the cat math there, though?
We made 5 here, which is
So the
not
first one makes
multiple.
2, and the second one.
So the rule of thumb is +2 times 2. So if you have Kitty's Blessing, you +2 times 2. So it should be 6 cats if you hit the City's Blessing here.
So basically, any instant, we're all kind of wrong in one instance here. There's just a lot of cats. That's all that matters right now. And William is facing down lethal as we speak. Has he got an answer here? There is an Atraxa in the graveyard, which was put there from the Faithless Mending that was cast. The gains another 2 life as well. We've got enough mana to hold up for Thraben Charm because, of course, we've got those treasure tokens that you can see at the bottom of the screen. I think we just got 2 cards left. Fetching up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's times 2 plus 2, not the other way around. So it'd be 2 times 2 plus 2. So you make 6 cats.
So it should be 6, not 5.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
One card now.
And it should have
Math's
been
hard.
the same for the treasure tokens as well.
We're gonna tap down. We're gonna Phlage face, dropping William down to 7 if this resolves.
Oh no, the treasure tokens are right. It should be 4 treasure tokens.
That is just you having a battle with yourself and trying to work
I
out
am.
how many counters and tokens and things there should be.
I've been playing standard recently, so I have to like get a little mental refresher about how the Ocelot Pride math works again.
25.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I
7, 8, 9,
Alright.
10,
so that's
11. I
Everything I'm going to use.
don't know even this attracts to coming out of the graveyard. We're going to need some sort of shenanigans happen with a Solitude and Ephemerate for this to work. We've got the Goryos, so that's step 1, getting a 7/7 first strike lifelinker on the battlefield. Now,
I guess there
these
was no
top 10
Thraben
cards.
Charm.
Well, I think there's no cards left in hand.
Yeah, both of us thought there was a Thraben Charm in Taylor's opening hand, but I guess not.
There's double Ephemerate. This is a great camera angle. That's a Favor's Mending. That's an Emrakul. That's another Atraxa. None of these are Solitudes.
No Solitudes, but we can block, take Ephemerate. And if we can survive the combat damage, then
I don't think we can. That's the problem.
we're okay. But yeah, you have
We
to
go up to
block.
14, and we're going to, so let's say we block 3 damage. We take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Maybe we can go to 2 actually? And then they just get a gazillion tokens to gazillion life end of turn.
Yeah, you have to block the. You can block the Ragavan and go to 1.
Yeah, true. Here
But it
comes
looks like
Ephemerate.
we're opting to Ephemerate now and look for Solitude still.
Maybe we boarded them out. Nope, there's 1. There's 2. Okay. You wait for a bus, 2 come along at the same time. Is that a British thing? I feel like it's a very British thing. I don't think that's a thing you have over in your end of the world. We're going to take the Ephemerate, the Solitude. So that's instant creature, land. We don't have a sorcery. Oh, camera angles gonna stick. So while we sort out this, we're going to come back to the booth with me and Dingo while we get that kind of squared away for you all at home. Because we're in a bit of a crucial turn there where we've got the Solitudes now in hand, but now we don't have the mana to flicker it, so we can only use the Solitude once. Ideally, we'd obviously love to flicker it and be able to at least keep a 3/2 lifelinker on the battlefield. But I think we can win through this one. Here we come again. So we're going reversing it back to the point where the Solitude is being picked. Solitude, Ephemerate, land are the 3 cards that get picked in this pile.
Yeah, I think you have to evoke the Solitude here on probably one of the Ocelots.
Well, do we though? Because we spoke about we can block the Ragavan, go to 1. What would happen if we get to untap? If we get to untap, we can then evoke it, ephemerate it.
So if you let the Ocelots go to end step, that's 6 more cats, 6 life, 6 energy. I mean, that's a lot of cats to deal with.
We're in the territory where it's basically Wrath of the Skies or bust, right? Like that is it. There was a 1 outer in this instance. What gives us the best shot to find that? It's going to be ephemerating these Atraxas.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you just take. So I guess if that's the route you're going for, you're blocking the Amped Raptor. So that way you can Wrath for 1.
The other thing we're not talking about is, of course, there is a Phlage in the graveyard, and that Arena of Glory will be untapped next turn as well. So lots more to fight. We are going to do the Solitude straight away, which the way that this is lined out, I feel like I would keep that in hand, get my go to 1, and then keep the Solitude in case that Phlage was to come back. Because we know there's now 1 Solitude at the bottom of our deck. 1 was now just been cast. There's only 2 left that we can actually hit if we do start ephemerating this Atraxa and digging a bit deeper.
So if we opted to Solitude the Ocelot Pride, I think I like blocking the other Ocelot Pride instead of the Ragavan and then going to 1.
And then
We're going to use treasure tokens to put Giganta into hand. That's fine.
So I'll get 2 cats and then gain 2 energy. And
Gain some
2
life, gain some cats, gain some energy, gain some more life.
Yeah.
They did not come prepared.
William
Yeah.
needs. We've got the double white. We've got
then-
1 extra mana. That's fine.
Yeah.
We've also got mana in hand, which we can go fetch up a basic. I believe we've got basic swamp and plains, so we can go get island. It would be the other one we can actually fetch for. We're going to crack in first though. Gain a little bit more life. Go up to 9. Drop Taylor down to 22.
Yeah.
And here comes the ephemerate.
Here's Rathless, guys. Right? Right?
2. Nope, that's the first. Oh, there it is. There's Wrath of the Skies. So we, but, oh no, we can fetch and shock now, can't we? I was like, we can't fetch and shock. We can fetch and shock, so that's fine.
Ooh, yeah, we only have 1 basic plane, so go fetch shock down to 6, which makes Phlage lethal. But we have the subtlety.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got the subtlety. That's great insurance against it. Hopefully William keeps track of it. You know, that Ragavan is sitting on top of that Phlage. Maybe he can kind of be hidden underneath it. Because I imagine momentarily we're going to see the Ossett's Pride and the Guide of Souls go to the graveyard, which would be the 4th and 5th card needed.
It's so good for Will.
I will pay the
Yep.
Cast this
Wrath
Wrath
for 1. That's
And
gonna
my
leave
cats are gone.
lowly amped Raptor. No treasure tokens, no nothing. And then we got the Phlage checked by the subtlety. I don't even think Taylor can win this game anymore.
I think if William can connect one more time with this Atraxa, he's got no cards in hand besides Giganta, which we know isn't going to be good enough in this instance. Gonna need something big off the top. That's that's a way of getting Atraxa off the battlefield.
This jagged.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Does it exile? I always forget if that one exiles or not.
It does exile.
Yeah, exile target creature, artifact, enchantment, or creature of power 4 or greater.
That is correct.
Exercise. And I think you got to do that, right? You can't let the Atraxa stick around again anymore.
Well, the
Then I'll-
subtlety's face up, so you don't have a choice. You have to exercise this Atraxa.
And we haven't seen any forced negations. This might not be the matchup for it. There's a chance they could have even been boarded out.
I think from the Goryo side, force negation is important for tagging Blood Moon to make sure you don't lose to it.
So he's going through the motions. He's like, I don't like doing it, but I'm going to try and target your Attractor. Here's that force that you're speaking about. Force plus blue card. It's going to be the Archaeologist going to the graveyard.
Go ahead.
And so it's like, I was really hoping you didn't have that one. Ephemerate could come back off here, but decides against it.
Yeah.
Staying to exile. I'd rather hit you for another 7, gain another 7, up to 13. And this game is slipping out of Taylor Spain's grip.
Yes, sir.
Looked so good, that great opening start, but looks like William's been able to turn the corner here.
This is the power of the Goryo's deck, is no matter how many creatures you can throw at the Goryo's deck, all it takes is 1 Atraxa, 1 Ephemerate, and 1 Wrath of the Skies to clean up the entire board.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes in that order, in that sequence. You know what I mean? But you got to play the cards to be able to use them. And now the fact that we've got solid this subtlety and we can actually hard cast it, and William's just like, yeah, I'm hard casting this. You get that? I don't want you to have that. Top or bottom?
Yeah.
Taylor says bottom. Now we've got 10 points flying in the air.
Yeah, we have Leyline Binding for the Phlage, so if Phlage gets an ETB trigger, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe
Yeah,
it'll kill the subtlety, you'll gain 3, but then the Leyline Binding's going to tag the Phlage before it gets to attack anyway, so I think this is just an insurmountable spot for Taylor.
One
the
ring.
1 ring.
Okay.
I mean, Time Walk.
Nope.
Oh,
Handshake. GG's. William is going to take this down and continue to be undefeated. 7-0-1 with Goryo's Vengeance, taking down the bugbear of the format, Boros Energy. Giving him his first loss, but it's fine. Congrats to Will. Back to the booth. If you just joined us, welcome. My name's Will Hall. I'm joined by Mr. Young Dingo himself, and we're going to be taking you through this morning's action of Modern, where we've got you 5 rounds of Swiss before we cut to that top 8 a little bit later on. 20k on the line. Modern is the format. And I see a nice little Kai Ramaster jumping in the chat, so I hope you're all good, my friend. But we've got a backup feature match for all you beautiful people watching as well, so we're going to head straight down to that. Let's see what we've got going on. We've got Brood Scale combo versus Eldrazi Ramp. How's this normally go, Dingo?
I think this is pretty favored for the Brood Scale combo. I think the Brood Scale combo is pretty fast. They also have a surprising amount of Devoid and colorless permanents, so cards like All Is Dust is not very effective against the Eldrazi ramp list. But let's take a look at the list real quick.
Yeah, let's get the Brood Scale combo up on the deck and have a little look what's going on over here. Because this is one of the newer combo decks. Mac Nash has been playing this quite a lot, making it pretty popular, still fine-tuning it a little bit. And this is the iteration that I've seen a lot of people move to. Because as we mentioned yesterday, Wrath of the Skies is on the decline at the minute, which means Saga decks get to be on the incline, because now they're not getting completely blown out when that card is cast. So this is a great Urza's Saga deck. Talk me through what the actual combo is and what we might see though.
Yeah, so if you have the Brood Scale plus 1 Eldrazi Scion plus Blade of the Blood Chief, then you can equip Blade of the Blood Chief onto the Brood Scale, sacrifice any creature, it gets a counter, it makes a Scion, you sacrifice that Scion, you make a mana, it gets a counter, it makes a Scion, so you can make infinite mana, an infinitely large Brood Scale, and if you have Ballista in hand, that's just the kill on the spot. If you have Fleshraker out, that's also the kill on the spot, because a creature that keeps entering the battlefield over and over, which means Fleshraker is going to deal 1 damage to your opponent. So pretty powerful combo deck, all held together by the glue that is 4 copies of the One Ring.
Of course, it's the One Ring, but it's got the best 1-drop in Modern, in my opinion, Blighted Halfling. Love that card, love to see it. But let's go across, have a look at the Team Eldrazi deck. This is what we used to see a lot of Tron decks. They've now evolved. The mana base is just better now to just be a pure Eldrazi with a lot of these tomb sort of effects. Talk me through this deck list and why we're seeing this kind of iteration pop up more now.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that the Eldrazi decks have gone away from All Is Dust and they're now just on Kozilek's return. It seems like All Is Dust is maybe just too slow to combat energy nowadays. So you want to be on the cheaper sweepers as well as kind of just like this ramp package of Utopia Sprawl plus the Rumble, trying to hit your Emrakul the Promised End as fast as possible, take your opponent's turn, and just do your best to waste their resources on your / their turn that you're stealing.
I thought that was a pun there where you said waste, and I was like, there's no waste in this deck. But yeah, maybe it's just a bit too early for you in the morning. It's fine. Right, let's get down to the matchup then. Our backup feature match here in round number 8 at the MXP Houston 20k. Both players 5 and 2, so really need to win out for the rest of the day to find themselves in the top 8. We'll find out momentarily who is actually going to be on the play. Have we got more Christmas sleeves? That's the first thing I pick up on is like more Christmas sleeves. That's all I need. Every player, every round to have Christmas sleeves. And the good art of the One Ring here for Jeremy on the right of our screen.
All right, Will, Christmas sleeves or the plain black sleeves?
Christmas sleeves all day long. It's Christmas.
All day.
You Grinch. Get out
All
of this
day.
stream. If you don't like it, you know what I mean? I'm all about the Christmas. I love it.
No, I'm with you.
Holiday.
I'm with you. I rocked the Santa sleeves for a long time.
What are you going to buy me for Christmas?
I'm going to buy you the hoodie that I'm not going to send you.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
People have no idea about that, but basically Dingo lost a bet to me about 1.5 years ago and still hasn't paid up, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. I'm outing him on the stream. Come at me. Taking a mulligan over here on Jeremy's side.
You've been to the States how many times now, and you still haven't gotten that hoodie?
Like 5 times. Like 5 times, and you still haven't given me that hoodie. But look at this close up of these Christmas sleeves. All about it. I bet Kai Bauermeister has Christmas sleeves.
You can go to 0.
Kozilek's turn looks like there's one going to go to the bottom. Maybe we know the matchup. Maybe we don't.
One to the bottom.
You're supposed to wait, right?
Is that a Grinch hoodie as well? Oh, so much Christmas going on. I'm so happy right now. Why are we not doing this in Christmas hats? I feel like we should have preemptively bought matching Christmas hats for this.
Will, what's your ugly Christmas sweater of choice?
Well, you wouldn't understand it. This is the problem. So in the UK, we have like a budget supermarket called Tesco, and they have their own brand of like cereal and stuff, and we call it Tesco's Finest. And they released a jumper that says Tesco's Finest Christmas jumper. And That is my joke. British people will understand. No one else in the world will. So I apologize if you're not from the great United Kingdom.
Do some weird stuff. This is
Love
all
it.
man.
What's yours?
What are we gonna see? I have a light up ugly Christmas sweater that I gotta break out again, but it's got just like a panorama of Santa and a bunch of lights on all the reindeers'
Yep.
noses.
Green. Yeah.
And are we going to be able to see this on your stream soon?
I gotta find it. It's somewhere in the forbidden closet that I don't open up.
Start out
Oof.
first.
Battle of the one drops here as we kick off this matchup. Great forests from both players here, but you know, I am such a sucker for Delighted Halfling. I really, really love this one drop. I think it's so good. But maybe it's not as good as this explosive start, as not only are we able to double ramp because of Eldrazi Temple, but we can also use the command here, get rid of the halfling on the other side, and ramp us an extra bit with another Eldrazi spawn on the battlefield.
Turn to 6 mana, Will.
Seems fair.
Are you
Seems
sure
fair.
you still hate Tron?
Mate, come on.
Are you sure?
Eldrazi. I feel like the problem is I feel like I would play an Eldrazi deck. Like I would play this Brood Scale combo deck. Like this is a cool deck in my opinion. I think this deck looks pretty sick. But this is a lot.
Vigo spawn.
Oof. Oh my word! Calm down, Jeremy. It's Christmas, my friend. Goodness, he's giving presents to Colin left, right, and center here. You can get stone rained. I'm gonna ramp myself on this. What land are we gonna go get though? We're just gonna get Surveil land. So maybe that's our hand's done now. We're out of gas. We need to try and find some more stuff moving forward with our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana that we've got. How far are we from casting an Emrakul at this point?
Oh, it sees it, leaves it on top instantly. That's probably the
I'm gonna go
copy.
command.
I think it's hit Lord of the Rings card, the One Ring.
Oh my god.
I have to find
Brood Scale?
What is this guy?
So how many cards are we away now from actually just being able to straight up combo here over on Colin's side?
One.
Is there
We need
ones?
one
There's
Blade
actually
of Blood
ones
Chief.
in the-
And then Jeremy will be dead and all this mana will be for naught.
yeah, there we go. Thanks.
That scary, that quick, that simple. Okay, well maybe we'll get to see it.
Go.
If
What'd
we
you keep
have
on
Blade
top,
of the Blood
Jeremy?
Chief. Oh, no Blade in hand, but
You called it.
I was right.
The sexy One Ring as well, done
All
by Justine Jones. This is the One Ring art that I own. So
You
if
owe me
the
a
inevitable
hoodie,
happens
Will.
next week, I'm going to be a very upset bear. But at least they'll look cool when I frame them and put them on my wall.
I think you owe me a hoodie for calling that shot.
Well, come on, mate. I don't make bets I can't win. There's a saga off the top, but we're going to start
Blade
off
of Blood
with an
Chief?
Ancient Stirrings.
Blade? Blade?
Mate, I remember when
Blade?
people wanted Stirrings banned in Modern. I think that's back when Brad Nelson was tearing up
Don't
Modern
tell
with
me
this
it's
card.
over. Stop right now. Do you
Definitely not
have
a
5
whip.
cards there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a bunch of lands
Let's
in
secure
hand,
it.
really. Nothing too much, or in the pile. Does have a couple One Rings in hand. Collins is really setting up. There's also the chance that Jeremy might not have played against this deck. This is still quite a new, fresh deck in the meta, and picking it up in paper, it doesn't really transfer across to any other decks. So you would have to specifically own these cards for this deck. It's not like, oh, I just happen to have them lying around in my other green Eldrazi kind of deck. So Jeremy might not have played against it, might not know that what the combo is, and maybe Colin can capitalize on that. At least leading up to this point.
It's like somebody mashed a Scales deck with an Eldrazi deck.
He'll take 2 more damage.
Ugh, it sounds disgusting. But here comes a little bit more damage coming across. Ping you to the face, add 2 more creatures. So we are just that. Is it a sword? Is that the
Okay, your turn.
blade? A blade. It's a dagger. The blade entering the battlefield is all we need, and we will be getting that off the saga if it is to stick around.
I think Colin just attacked in the One Ring protection as well, so let's see if Jared remembers that he has protection.
Oh no, I think they took damage from when the colorless one was cast, and that's what they're asking.
Hello.
Whenever another colorless
opponent
creature enters the battlefield under your control,
opponent
deals 1
is
damage
triggered
to
by
each opponent.
When I
And I
play
think they're asking, do I have protection?
I attacked with
And
these,
it would be
my
quite a
opponent
simple
says, "I don't
fix. I
take any
imagine they
damage."
just rewind
And I
it,
said, oh, like,
and I don't think they
take
take the
off
damage.
these. He said, well, I think I was supposed to take the damage off these.
I'm just getting the
that's where we're
information on the judge pool.
What do you mean take the damage off of these? That's what I'm
This thing. Playing Phlage right here.
Yeah. I said take the damage off of this because I thought that this didn't give me protection. I flipped this off at the top of my deck last turn, just immediately said trigger, activate.
I don't think you said trigger.
Okay, hang on one second. Let me get
Okay.
a double check.
So, because of that, obviously we've got the mics down on the table as well. We could hear then. Basically, what has happened is Jeremy missed declaring the air protection from the ring, and thought that the Flesh Raker's damage would have got around the protection. So the judge is now deciding on what the ruling is going to be moving forward on this. Did he miss it? Can he go back to blocking it? Can he, rewind to X point? So once we get the confirmation that, and we get back down to the table, we'll let all you beautiful people at home know as well. Because these are things that can get missed, right? This is why we love paper magic at the end of the day. When we love playing online, all these different ways of doing it.
For Judge, I
It does it
think
for us.
that in this
Hey, you've got to
situation,
remember,
the
you've got to
easiest
play
way
that.
to
It's
confirm
things
whether or
like
not
this.
you said
You then
trigger
not only
is
got
if
to
you
compose
acted
yourself after
as
doing this, because sometimes you're like, I did it on camera. No, I'm going to be able to go back and watch it and kind of kick yourself. You've also got at least 2 more games of Magic to play that we've got to be able to fight through and win to continue in this tournament and give ourselves the best shot for this top 8. How do you get around it when you make a mistake, Dingo, or do you just not make them because you are young Dingo?
You kind of just got to brush it off in these long tournaments. It's bound to happen. But let's give a listen into
where
what's
you're
happening.
coming from, and I am choosing that you have likely forgotten the trigger. That is how I roll in the game.
Okay.
All right. So, since you were acting under the assumption that you had the trigger when you declared blocks, I'm going to rewind this to blocks, and you may declare differently. And then we will proceed from there. Okay?
Okay.
So on that one, so we
okay.
missed the judges ruled we missed the protection trigger, but I was going to rewind it to blocks because of the way that the blocks were did or didn't happen. The judge was like, well, you under the impression that you did have the protection, you now don't, so we'll rewind it to that point. So now we're at the point of declaring blocks, if any. I don't think we would block in this situation. I think we would just take the 4 points of damage, and we're going to carry on with it. And that's not what we see.
From my understanding, you don't have to announce the protection trigger when you cast the One Ring, but you do have to announce it when it first becomes relevant. And it seems like Jeremy missed it with the Flesh Raker triggers, so they ruled it that he completely missed the protection.
Right, well, it's time, as you were speaking about, it's time just to brush it off, carry on the rest of your day. You know what I mean? We're still in game 1 here, and we need to be able to win. Kozilek's return is going to be going to the graveyard, though, so that might become apparent if we can cast a big Eldrazi, which we do have one in hand, with that being an Emrakul. We're putting the land in hand, and now we're counting the card types.
Is Rumble a May? Because maybe you just want to bin the land here.
I think that's what we're doing. I think it is real top 4 cards you library. You may put a permanent card from among them into your hand. So I think we're deciding against it to keep the extra card type in the graveyard. So then we can just tap X amount of mana, get this Emrakul trigger on the stack. We might see this return come back out of the graveyard.
Yeah, this Kozilek's return is going to come back out of the graveyard, sweep the board.
If we remember it.
No.
Okay, so we're just going to take the turn. Hey, why am I? Saga's going to go to 2. What would you like to do with my turn?
It could be very, very costly to miss that Kozilek's return here. Both of those Flesh Rakers are very threatening.
It's what I spoke about, right? Like, it's getting over that. You've just had, like, a little bit of a mishap. You forgot to declare your trigger. You kind of having that mental battle with yourself. You can miss things like this. It takes a lot of discipline and a long time to try and get over this as a player, to kind of like move on and keep playing at effectiveness. Missing something like that might end up costing Jeremy this game, but it does have full control of Colin's turn, and can attack into and get a couple of these creatures off the battlefield if needs be. Can use his own Urza Saga to get rid of the the Haywire Might to get rid of the Urza Saga here. I think that's what we're gonna do. So use the Haywire Might, exile your own Saga. You can gain 2 life.
Yeah, we could attack the 2 Flesh Rakers in. I think I would get the Brood Scale off the table, though, also.
Yeah, I think I would get the Brood Scale off the table. Sack the Scions, add the mana, no extra bonus. Back to Colin, gets a draw. Found a Delighted Halfling. He's going to play this Urza's Saga on 1. Delighted Halfling, 2 rings in hand. And we're just going to ram. We're doing a Brood Scale now to get the Eldrazi spawn, so next turn, potentially one of these rings will be coming down. Do you have to remember, though, that there's a big 13/13 Eldrazi on the other side, though? Do you want
Yeah, I
a free
think
card for
that
the ring?
Jeremy's still in a good spot.
Yeah, if I had an advantage bar right now, it would be to the right of our screen. I think just anytime someone casts an Eldrazi, you can take your next turn. It's always going to be a rough spot to kind of fight back from. Let's see what else. I think I'm just going through the
Oh, Jeremy just scoops. I guess he was like, all right, I'm dead to the ring, so I
Was it home?
can't.
Were we at 2 life and the ring was at 3?
Yeah, casting that Haywire Might pre-combat meant that the Flesh Rakers dealt Jeremy 2 damage.
Oh
And if he had
no.
gone to combat and attacked with both Flesh Rakers and then cast the Haywire Might, that would have been 2 more life and he wouldn't have died to his own ring there.
That's well. Look, you got to compose yourself in this instance, right? So in that one, we missed a few things. Is what it is. It's fine. You got to shake it off, get into game 2, and understand what we're doing moving forward. So let's look at the sideboards here. Let's start over on Jeremy's side. See what he's going to have to potentially kind of shore up this game and get us to a game number 3. That's the main deck. This is the sideboard. What do you like bringing in?
So I think the consignment memories are pretty good against the Brood Scale combo deck. A lot of the stuff is colorless from them or devoid. So I bring in the consigns and maybe some stone brains to name Blade of the Blood Chief or to name the Basking Brood Scale so you don't die to the combo. I think that's about it though. I wouldn't be interested in anything else. And I think out of the main deck, maybe you can trim on some Kozilek's returns. It's not the best card, and you can also probably trim on some Devourer of Destinies because all the stuff that you care about is devoid.
Okay, well, let's have a cross at the other side here. We've got this Brood Scale deck, see what they've got floating around their sideboard. Again, one of the newer decks in the format, which I do love that we're still finding new decks in and around. But the sideboard, let's just lift that up one more time. Thank you very much. What do you like in this sideboard?
Thief of Existence is actually pretty good at dealing with some of the problematic permanents that the Eldrazi deck is playing. So I think I'd be interested.
Let me just read that out for everybody at home.
Yeah,
When you
go for
cast
it.
a spell, exile up to one target non-creature, non-land permanent opponent controls with mana value 4 or less. If you do, Thief of Existence gains this creature, leaves the battlefield, target opponent draws a card. Okay.
So you can hit like Talisman with it. You can hit the One Ring with it. It's got some pretty good applications. I'd also be interested in the Pithing Needle probably, and maybe the Soul Guide Lantern because it is the Delirium Eldrazi deck. And then if you're on the draw, you take the Cavern of Souls as well. Or sorry, the Gemstone Cavern.
Because now we're on the draw, do we do the Gemstone Cavern? Is this a speed matchup? Do we need to try and combo and get underneath the Eldrazi deck? Because that first one, that's just kind of a mishap, right? Like a little bit of sequencing. We're not potentially going to be able to cheese that in a game 2 here. So do we want to be super quick and go underneath them, or do we want to kind of try and play a bit of a mid-range battle against them as we're going to go back down to the match for game number 2?
I think anytime you're on the draw, you bring the Gemstone Caverns. It's just too good of a card to potentially have in your opening hand and get a little bit ahead on mana.
There it is, look. You say it, there it is, along with a waste and 5 other cards. I think a couple of them are green, so that looks like it could be a keep. Over on Jeremy's side, to see the One Ring, I see a forest-type land, plus away the ramp with a Utopia Sprawl, and double ring in hand as well. And we are off to the races. We are going to use that Gemstone Cavern, exiling the Spring Leaf Drum, and then a little bit of ramp over on Jeremy's side, and just pass the turn back.
Sprawl on the Breeding Pool.
What's your shocks of choice? What do you use in paper?
I use the old bordered retro shocks with the old art.
Yeah, I'm all about it. All about it. That's what I use. I upgraded to them recently. I do like these art ones. I don't know what like the space ones I call them. I don't know what they're.
Yeah, they're Unfinity.
Yeah, I think they are quite nice.
I like the Unfinity ones if they're like the Galaxy foils, but I'm a foil hater.
Yeah, I don't foil things anymore. The only deck that I have foiled is blue, green, or black, green, in fact, in modern.
That's fair.
So basically, I wasted all my money on a deck that's completely unplayable. But I had fun doing it. Here comes the Rumble, showing 4 cards. We do have a Blade in there, as well as a Brood Scale plus 2 more lands. So we can pick any of these cards that we'd like, and it looks like we're going to go for the Blade, and then Jeremy helping out. Here, have a spawn token. Go crazy.
So with the land drop here, we can go Brood Scale plus play the blade out, and we can't quite kill because we have to equip the blade before sacrificing the Scion token. So the only way... Yeah, I don't think there's a way to kill this next turn.
This is where I'll watch Matt Nass pilot and pull out a win out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my god, Matt Nass is so good at this combo deck stuff.
Maybe with a Flesh Raker there would be a way, but without one, I definitely don't think so. It'd have to be like Flesh Raker plus Eldrazi Temple.
Con's in the tank though, having to think for it. Saying like, I've got all the pieces. Is there a way that I can link them all together this turn and not give Jeremy another one, so I can advance myself to a 6-2 record? Here comes Temple.
I'll exile this thing on cast.
Oh, this is the one that
Ah,
we
we're
were
gonna-
speaking about. The Thief of
Thief.
Existence coming down.
Yeah, Thief the Talisman cut a little bit of ramp off here. Also, you can take Utopia Sprawl with it, notably.
This is the only one that produces colorless mana at this point, right? So I like taking this.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna
Sign the caster.
blue.
Yeah, it's a blue-green Talisman.
Oh, to stop the trigger, not to
Yep.
stop it coming down, just to stop the trigger. Interesting.
Yeah, I think you want to stop it from coming down if you are going to take out the trigger anyways, because you just gave him like a free 3/4.
Yeah, I think that's I agree with you there. Maybe we didn't really know where we were going to target it, but here comes Brood Scale. That's going to be the follow-up play. So now there's two creatures on the battlefield and Blade in hand that Jeremy does know about. Eldrazi Temple, that's going to put us up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana for the turn. We use 4 of it. Cast the One Ring.
Yep.
Remember our protection trigger. I think that's what the flick was. And then tap it. Go another card deeper.
Yes.
And straight up pass the turn. Can we just die here?
With a Flesh Raker, yes, because we can kill on upkeep. With no Flesh Raker, you can play a big Ballista, if you could find Ballista here, and then kill an upkeep anyways.
How about Double Saga Ring Delighted Halfling?
Take a ring, for sure.
Comes to the
Then we
Eldrazi
can
Spawn.
play our land, play a blade, equip the blade, make an infinitely large Brood Scale, gain infinite mana, infinite colorless mana to clarify,
Cast the blade.
and then hope to rip something off of this One Ring.
This thing.
So we are going to equip it here.
Yes.
Okay, get this.
And now,
Alright, this
I
guy has
think demonstrating the loop
600 power,
to Jeremy.
and I have 600 mana floating. Okay.
It's like, I'm going to do this 6 times.
Yeah,
That's
how do we
6
rep
mana.
this?
Play the One Ring.
Draw card.
Gain
'Cause
protection
I think
trigger.
it's happening a lot more than 6 times.
Now, yeah.
Ooh, found the needle. Do you needle the ring?
5 mana.
Turns off your own
This one,
ring.
The One Ring.
That's tricky.
But they got like Jeremy's got to have something here to kill it, right? If that Brood Scale is, super large, it's a one-shot kill at this point.
611, that makes it.
Yes, that Brood Scale does have infinite power.
I think
It's got 611 power.
Is that a lot? Just in your opinion, you've been playing Magic a while. You do this for a living. Is 611 power? Well, actually, 613 power large in Magic the Gathering.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Have you
think
seen
we can do
Merit
big
Lage? That's like a 2020.
there? I think Jeremy does have the commands though. That's huge.
We're
Gonna
going to
go
Micro
for
Spawn.
this Micro Spawn first.
We're
Just
gonna get
gonna
another
get yourself a
temple.
land. Yeah, I think it's a temple here, right? Because then that gives us 5 mana, so we can still use the command in our hand, get rid of the Brood Scale, potentially dig deeper in our deck. I think Pippin Needle is naming the One Ring at this point.
Got it.
Yeah, I think you would have tapped the One Ring instantly if it wasn't naming the One Ring.
And just
Well, let's see.
passing a turn back.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I would have gotten that Brood Scale off the table about as fast as possible.
Well, do we need to though? Is it? I suppose yes, because now if we find something like a Walking Ballista off this, we can just generate infinite mana in response and then cast it, and then we just
Yeah.
go straight up.
Sack this.
Exactly.
Mana trigger.
With
Now
a
we have
second
second
blade,
blade.
though,
Cast this.
how does
And-
this work?
The second blade can make you infinite spawns, and it can make your board infinitely large because you can keep moving that second blade around to every other creature you have. So you can make all of your current creatures infinitely large, and then you can make infinite new spawns that are infinitely large, albeit they have summoning sickness.
So
Exile
in
this
response,
guy,
we're going to.
make. Yeah,
Looks like we're not doing it in response
yeah, exile
to
that guy.
the
Scry
blade
draw
being
card.
on the stack, because it looks like the blade's already on Thief of Existence, so we can make at least Thief of Existence infinite power here.
I think Jeremy's deciding what the other mode's going to be.
I will.
I'm just trying to listen into the table and see what they were saying.
Allow that.
I guess allow it.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Maybe it's in response to equipping the Thief with the second blade.
Top
I think
two?
that was the best time to do
Sheesh.
it. Colin's happy
Let's
about
equip
the
resolve on
tabletop.
this.
Better good results on that.
Yeah, let's equip resolve on this.
Yes.
We draw
Attack.
off the command then?
How big is this thing?
3/4.
And it gets a +1/+1 when something dies?
Yes.
Or when you specifically sack something?
No. Anything does.
Anything dies. Of yours?
Anything.
Either way, we're going to combat.
Man, you make this really. This whole
Does the
end
blade
thing.
itself give +1/+1, or is it only counters they adds?
Only counters.
Okay, so this is just a 3/4 coming across at the minute. Now we're going to sacrifice this, add another 2 counters to it, so it will go up to 5 because of the double blade. Jeremy's going to lose 1 life from the ring, and then he's going to find this rumble that we left on top. And we're going to fire it off straight away. Top 4 cards. Going to get milled. See the 1 ring, a command, Misty Rainforest, and a consign.
Not the greatest.
I
Yeah,
think
you gotta
I've
take
just
another
got to
ring. I mean, you could replace it, but it's still needled. I guess you have a World Breaker in hand, it looks like, so you can take out that Pithing Needle, but then you give Colin a ring as well.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here is World Breaker.
Exile one of those.
And it's going to take out one of these blades.
We did 17.
Interesting. Okay, back to Colin.
I don't hate it. I think if you're not planning to unlock the ring, then taking out the blade's the second best option.
Also adds a big body on the battlefield. It's a 5/7, right? I believe. Yeah,
Or you
5.
can take out the Eldrazi Temple, potentially.
Colin's got a bit of fighting to get through this battlefield. It's starting to go up pretty nicely. Jeremy's starting to cast a few more of his spells now. The graveyard's looking nice and fat if we do find ourselves an Emrakul. That's the thing about these combo decks, right? They can just win out of nowhere.
Yeah, to win from this spot, we need another Brood Scale and some sort of payoff, whether it be a Flesh Raker or a Ballista still. So we're a little bit off. These Brood Scale decks are very good, though. They're
East is one of the cards in hand. So that's
pretty
not-
reminiscent of the Devoted Druid combo decks of old.
Walking Ballista for 2.
Maybe that you've never seen.
I think Glee-
Walking Ballista. I use my Yawgmoth deck. That's how I know
Say
it.
that. I'm over here
Do
with
you know
all
what the name of it is? The Fallout version?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I never played the Fallout games, and I've watched the TV series.
I'm not proud
And
of
if it was
myself.
the other way around and Wizards released the Fallout set after the TV series, I would have spent a lot more money buying these cards. I love that TV show. I thought it was great.
Assaultron Invader Will.
Oh yeah, the invader of Soltron. Yeah, I hated it. I hated that when that happened. That was such a tragedy.
This gets a counter.
We're
Walking
gonna
Ballista's
ping
gonna
it.
shoot down.
The spawn, and then we're gonna grow the thief, move the blade over, attack with the thief.
I actually really like this because now all the +1. Anytime something dies, +1/+1 counters get added to the ballista, right?
Double block? Yeah. Alright, I will do...
Yeah, precisely. So anytime a creature dies after this, then the ballista will grow.
Double block is going to happen here. I mean, this is a 6/7 creature now. It's pretty big.
Kill this guy.
So we are going to kill the microspawn, which means another counter. 2 counters get added?
Oh yeah, because the microspawn dies plus the thief dies, so that's 2 blade triggers on the stack.
Oh, yes, let's go. 3/3 walking ballista. Jeremy's only at 9.
Yeah, you got the 1 ring ticking away at both life totals right now. I imagine a new ring's gonna come out, but looks like we're counting types in the graveyard. Does that mean Emrakul was the draw for turn?
That'd be a great find if it was. That is an Emrakul being found. It is obviously going to be reduced to the amount of card types in the graveyard, but this is not what Collins wants to see. I imagine there's a response.
You gotta do something with the ballista, otherwise it's gonna ping you in the face.
I would
Yeah.
like to shoot you for free with a walking ballista.
Yeah, I'm at 16 now. Sorry, 16. Yeah.
Leave it in your hand, go probably. Or maybe
Yeah,
we
I
get
think
in
this
there.
is a draw go type of a situation.
Yeah.
Is there like anything with an act? Okay.
Is there anything in your graveyard that's relevant?
No, it's just.
He's just having a little look
I
see.
can't equip your thing to my stuff, can I?
You cannot.
Dang. That'd be cool.
So the Emrakul's 13/13 flyer.
Can't give this
The
to you, so I can't
5/7
give this.
from
cast it
the
real on yourself.
Well Breaker.
This guy, I hate this guy.
We're
That's
going to be on
18.
block duty.
Yeah, gotta block with that flesh breaker most likely, unless we find another colorless spell to cast and then make a spawn.
That was the lamest Emrakul turn I think I've ever taken.
Relatively lame. Just draw the best card
Oh
possible, I
my
guess.
god.
He's saying it's the lamest Emrakul ever cast. I don't know about that.
Oh, Twitch chat brings up a good point. Tap the Grove of the Burn Willow, so that way Jeremy gains +1 life point.
Twitch chat's so big brain. I love it.
Type plays by Twitch chat.
There's some
We're looking at the top 5 here. We do find ourselves a Brood Scale, plus a couple of land, and a Delighted Halfling. One of those lands, though, is a Beseiju. Not that I think that's going to be too relevant in this instance. We're going to get the Brood Scale. So, Brood Scale, remember, we do have the Blade on the battlefield as well. Hold on, is this...
Play the Flesh Raker, we play the Brood Scale, we trigger. We're 1 mana short, Will.
Oof. Oof. So that's this, that's that. Yeah, we are 1 mana to. In fact, we're 2 mana. Oh no, because that makes 1 mana.
Yeah, the Flesh Raker will make 1 mana when you cast the Brood Scale, but then we don't have any mana to equip. Well, we do have 1 mana to equip, but we don't have another way of making a spawn.
So you take 2.
So we're 1 mana short of just having the win on board right now.
I'll take those points.
But
I want to.
does Jeremy have a way to win this turn? Because we can block that Wellbreaker, and then we just untap and win. That Emrakul
That is
itself is
correct.
not going to be able to win this match. This is huge.
If
Woodland.
Woodland was the pickup.
Nothing relevant in the graveyard. 1 rings in hand.
Well, there's a micro spawn, but that shifting Woodland is gonna have summoning sickness.
Yep.
Cast the 1 ring, gain the protection trigger.
That's not gonna save Jeremy, however.
Does it get round the 1 ring? Is that what we?
You can do it in upkeep, which is why it gets around the
Oh.
1 ring.
Jeremy's having a little read. No way. Collins has had 2 Emrakuls cast against him, but able to win both of those matchups. Magic is crazy.
I'm at 2.
Block. Take that. Go down to
He goes to 1
2, right?
because the ring
Oh,
trigger
because
and
the
upkeep.
ring. Oh no! Insult to injury. Go down to 1. As long as he knows how to play his own deck at this point, should be good.
Equip the blade,
Ball.
pass the turn, activate the Brood Scale and upkeep.
I think that we're just activating it now just to
Yeah, it
Go.
doesn't matter.
Upkeep.
Delighted Halfling
Second.
go
in
upkeep,
your upkeep.
Trigger.
sack, trigger,
Do
sack,
damage,
trigger,
do
sack,
again.
trigger, 3 damage. That's all we need. And that'd be the game. GG's to
My-
Colin Roundtree.
Was there any other way that we could have played around that? That just looked like we just let the Emrakul deck do its thing, but we still got there. Our combo was just that powerful. Congratulations to Colin though, advancing, giving himself the best chance to get into today's top 8.